Alright guys, here we go, episode 69 of Techfall Tabletalks. I'm your host as always, Julius Grit, and man, Fargo was crazy. It was insane. A lot of great wrestling. This might be the best Fargo tournament that we've had to date. So a lot of really good wrestling come out of it. So this is your 2024 Fargo review. So I'm going to review a few wrestlers. I'm going to review Oumar Tounkara, Dunia Sibomana, Gabe Swann, and Aliaksandr and Arseni Kikiniou. Right. The significance of these guys is, well, Arseni, Aliaksandr, and Oumar, they're all from New York City, as I am. Arseni and Aliaksandr had moved to California, as all of you guys know. But they cut their teeth for a long time in New York City. I've drilled with Aliaksandr and went live with him a bunch of times at the Elite Wrestling Academy down in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. And Dunia, although he's not from New York City, he's from Long Island, it's right there. And he has an incredible story, and I think it was really cool that he was able to go out and get a national title. That was really, really cool he was able to do that. And Dunia also All-American on the Greco side of things as well after winning the freestyle national title. So for Dunia to come out with a couple of stop signs, man, that's really cool. He has a great story. Pretty sure everybody knows by now what his story is. And it's insane the growth and progress he's made. And then gotta shout out Gabe Swann. You know, he's from Georgia. It's a long way from New York, but gotta shout him out because that match was just insane. That finals match was really insane. And he double All-American last year, so he decided to pick one style. He picked freestyle. Went out there and got a national title. And Oumar Tounkara, he had a really gritty performance. Came back with a stop sign. With the exception of Arseni and Aliaksandr, because they represent California, Oumar is actually the lone All-American from New York City. Right? It was a tough tournament. I watched all the guys' matches. It was a tough tournament. A lot of challenging matches. You know, the brackets were tough. But Oumar being able to grit it out like that, the way that he did, that was really cool. But we're going to get to all that. So you know what? Right now, my list is in ordered a certain way, but I'll start at the bottom of the list. This is in no order of ranking or anything. It's just the order of which I wrote things down and the order of matches and such. So I'm going to start with Oumar Tounkara. So 113 pounds is the weight class he wrestled at. So in the consolations, at the end of the blood round, right before the All-American round, this is the match that earned Oumar his stop sign. He wrestled against Lincoln Raw from Ohio. Now, if you have listened to this podcast before, Oumar is no stranger to wrestling against guys from Ohio. He wrestled against someone from Ohio at the Beat the Streets Gala back on June 4th, I believe it was. And that was a really cool match. Oumar unfortunately lost that match, but it was a great match and really good preparation for Fargo. So to start the match, Oumar hit a really quick single leg to get two. Then Raw tried to counter a throw attempt by Oumar, but Oumar defended well and kept from being scored on. Oumar then pancaked Lincoln on his back towards the edge to get four. Then Oumar took the lead, 6-0. Oumar hit a double for 2 more points. And then Oumar hit a gut for 2, but then got exposed, giving his opponent 2 as well. It's alright, no big deal. Then Oumar seemed to have gotten hurt. He was down for a while, but was able to get back up. Oumar's tough. Oumar countered his opponent's double leg with a nice throw to the edge for 4 points. 14-2 Techfall, and this is how Oumar secured his spot on the Fargo podium. Oumar unfortunately lost his next 2 matches, but he really battled hard the entire tournament to be able to get a stop sign. So congratulations to Oumar Tounkara for going out there, walking out of Fargo with that stop sign. So next, 106-pound final freestyle. Gabe Swann from Georgia going against Antonio Quiroz from Nevada. Quiroz with a quick step-out point to start the match. Now these guys, they were moving like mosquitoes. They were extremely fast. Then right when Swann attempted a throw-by, he got a passivity warning. So I think the ref was just going to give him passivity anyway. They were both moving fast, but they were both being very tactical as well, being very careful. They weren't going to risk anything. So I don't think it was a matter of the ref being crooked or anything. It's just happenstance. Even if Gabe Swann didn't attempt to throw by, he probably still would have gotten passivity. Then Swann hit a really good double leg and got 4 points. Scrambled a little bit, a couple of duck unders by Swann, and that ended the first period. Swann leads 4-1. Quiroz hits a headlock, but only gets 2 points. A corrected throw. So what that means is that when Quiroz threw Swann with the headlock, Swann didn't go completely on his back. He landed like on his side kind of. And then Quiroz like lost his grip, but then got it back. So that's where the term correction comes from. So that only got him 2 points. So now the score is 4-3, with Swann still in the lead. Quiroz got double unders, dragged Swann to the mat, then hit a go behind for 2 more points. But when he did that, Swann hit his head pretty hard, so he had some injury time. And like Swann was down, and he looked like he was really in pain. So now the score was 5-4, with Quiroz in the lead now. And then Swann got back up, but after a super fast flurry, Swann went for a double leg to the edge. But before Quiroz hit the mat, Quiroz locked his hands around Swann's chest. That created the debate on whether it was a throw by Quiroz or a double leg by Swann. Because there was no change in direction, Swann wound up scoring off of that double leg, bringing the score to 8-4. Swann gave up a passivity point. He could afford to though, bringing the score to 8-5. But then Swann hit a shot attempt. I'd say a desperation shot just to make sure that he didn't get another passivity point or anything like that. And then Quiroz countered with a crotch lift, exposed Gabe Swann's back. Now it's a 1-point match, 8-7. Swann is probably, his heart was beating faster than it ever had beaten before, most likely. But Swann was able to hold out for the final seconds of the match, and he won that dramatic sequence of events. Gabe Swann, the 2024 Freestyle National Champ, at 106 pounds. Next, 113-pound freestyle final, Dunia Sibomana from New York, from Long Beach, versus Hayden Dodd from Ohio. Dodd gets in on a single leg, but Dunia defends it, then gets into a quad pod to keep Dodd from advancing his position any further. Sibomana initiates a nice sequence, duck under, then rolls Dodd backwards from a crab right, similar position to a crab right, then hit a gut. So the score was 4-0 at that point, because Sibomana didn't score initially when he rolled Dodd backwards. Sibomana hit another duck, but the crackdown position that Dodd initiated, Dodd was being smart to land it on the crackdown. That caused a stalemate. Smart decision, he played that smart. Second period began, Sibomana is now blocking all of Dodd's shot attempts. Then Dodd got in on shot, and after grinding through Sibomana's strong parterre defense, he was finally able to score. Dodd got in on shot, Sibomana countered with an ankle roll sorter. He got 2 points. Then exposed dodge back again for 2 more. And Sibomana got in on a double. He held on for the final seconds. And then he won 8-2 to become the 2024 Fargo Freestyle National Champ at 113 pounds. Now we go into Greco. 120-pound Greco finals. Arseni Kikiniou from California. Well, from New York, but then he had moved to California a few years ago. Versus Rocco Cassiope from Illinois. Arseni pushed the pace very well. I just want to mention I've been in the same room as Arseni plenty of times back at his old wrestling club in Brooklyn, the Elite Wrestling Academy. Shout out to Coach Dimitri. But, you know, me and Arseni were always very different in weight. Me and Alexander were always very close in weight, his older brother. So while me and Alexander would drill and partners during practice and such, we'd be right next to Arseni while he's drilling. I've gotten to watch Arseni go live plenty of times back then. So I know very well how quick Arseni is, how tactical he is, and how he can really push the pace in a match. Somehow Arseni got a passivity point, and Arseni got the point for passivity. So the referee called passivity on Cassiope, and then Arseni got a point for that. Cassiope ended up with force parterre. That's because Arseni's very good at pushing the pace. Arseni goes and hits 3 guts, alternating sides, back and forth, so from left to right to left. We got a 7-0 lead. The score remains the same at the end of the first period. Arseni's good, man. A wild sequence from Arseni's arm spin attempt. So Arseni went for the arm spin, but Cassiope held on to Arseni's head and arm. Arseni kept running his feet to try to get behind him, but then narrowly escaped back exposure. Rocco almost has complete control on top, so he got his legs over him, but he didn't quite control Arseni's hips to score. But then Arseni flipped him over to his back, scored 2 points to win via Techfall, thus becoming the 2024 Fargo Greco-Roman National Champ at 120 pounds. Insane. It was just quick, get in, get out. Arseni went out there and got the job done. Last but not least, his older brother, 165 pounds, Greco final, Aliaksandr Kikiniou, also from California, versus Griffin Lundeen from Minnesota. I got my state initials mixed up. So, lots of circling and hand fighting in the beginning of the first period. Kikiniou fails an arm spin attempt. Alexander taught me that himself back at Elite, so I know he's good with an arm spin. He and I would drill that a bunch back then. Kikiniou gets a passivity call, giving Lundeen a point. Not a big deal. Like I said, I know how good the Kikiniou brothers are, so Alexander's just playing it smart in the beginning. The passivity point wasn't that big of a deal for him. Lundeen leads 1-0 going into the second period. Again, Alexander was playing it smart. Lundeen got a passivity call this time, which gives Kikiniou a point, along with force parterre. See? Alexander was waiting for that. Then Alexander hit a gut wrench, and now leads 3-1. I'm 99.9% sure that after Arseni had that same situation in his match, he basically laid out a blueprint for Alexander. I'm 99% sure that they were talking to each other after that. Like, I'm pretty sure, Alexander got that from his little brother. Then after some aggressive hand fighting for the rest of the period, Aliaksandr Kikiniou becomes the 2024 Greco-Roman Fargo National Champion, 165 pounds. It's Greco, it's different. It's different. There's no leg attacks or anything, as most people know. But in case you don't know, it's a very different style of wrestling. So if it looks like they're not doing anything, it's probably just the way it looks. To the untrained eye, if you saw the matches on floor, it might have looked like not much was going on, but I myself have a decent amount of Greco-Roman wrestling experience, so I know for a fact that there was more going on than meets the eye. So the only people that really knew what was going on while they were hand fighting were the two combatants and the referee. Right, so when I say aggressive hand fighting, it was aggressive. Like they were really trying to get positions. They weren't just running the clock. So there you have it. These were the performances at Fargo that I decided to highlight. And these are all some really good matches. I'm not going to rank them or anything like that. They were all really good matches. And they all wrestled a certain way. Very unique approaches to all of these matches. And all these guys should be proud of themselves. And to all the other New York City wrestlers that competed at Fargo, and maybe things didn't go your way, still be proud of yourself, because I saw all the matches. These guys, they were able to win matches, look real good, and wrestle real good. So, only up from here. Only up from here. Congrats to all the guys I talked about in this episode. And thank you guys for listening. Again, for all the other NYC wrestlers that didn't reach their goals this time around, it's only up from here.